Continue. Yes, we are recording.
Okay.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. I'm Robyn.
I'm Ryan, and I think, might have figured out some audio stuff here.
Good grief. You
Because
would
we're
think
like,
that we were from the 1890s.
you would think we were a different generation. Just
Although
say,
I did have to use PayPal today and I was crusty about it. I was like, who uses PayPal? Have you people not heard of Zoom or of Venmo and Zelle and Cash App? Like, seriously.
I skated by the entire PayPal era, having never used it. So I
Well,
don't.
you may still have to because apparently some people still use it. And yeah, I was not happy.
Uh,
So
I've done the Venmo thing, some of the newer stuff, but for some reason, I
I
guess it was
had to
just.
I had to drag you kicking and screaming into what Venmo and Zelle.
Yes, you
Let's
did.
be honest. You were like, I don't even know what those
I
are.
don't even know what those things are. In fact, I remember discussing them at one of the banks I deal with, and the young guy was like, "Do you want to be able to Venmo and Zelle and blah blah?" I was like, "I don't want to know any of that stuff. No, thank you."
I love
So
Venmo and Zelle. Like, seriously, they're my favorite thing as far
I
as
do
money goes.
appreciate the ability and the technology. It makes it 1,000 times easier than any number of other ways to do it, writing checks or
Oh, and it comes
wiring
out of
people.
it comes out instantly, which I love because I don't like to write a check to somebody or do an online bill pay and it takes
Yep,
13 days, or if
yep,
the person doesn't cash the check, it takes 6 months. Like, I don't like that. So
right.
yeah, PayPal and old crotchety people who don't know how to use things. I'm
I fit
guilty,
into
I
that.
guess.
I'm getting into that demographic. What is there? I don't remember. Are there fees and penalties from the bank for using Venmo and all that? I don't remember.
My understanding, Zelle is instant. Zelle is bank to bank. And unless you're trying to go over a certain amount or there's something fishy, it's
Right.
supposed to be instant.
Your
Sometimes
last
there'll
name is
be a lag
Escobar.
if there's a new account that you're sending to just to check for fraud.
Right.
Venmo and Cash App, if you want to get the funds instantly, like let's say I send you $100, you can let it sit there for 2 days and then get the funds for no fee. Or if you want it instantly, then you pay a small fee, like a processing fee. So that's how they make their money, is they either earn interest on your money sitting there for X amount of time or that you pay a small fee. But
Right.
sometimes it's worth it. So yeah, big fan.
Well, that's cool.
So what's new in the world?
All kinds
You
of
said you
stuff.
didn't know anything to talk about.
Well, actually, while we've been trying to figure out the technology, I pulled up some stuff, and
Oh
our friends
shit. Pulled up some stuff.
our
What?
friends and family. Well, there's the Texas thing, which is not new, but it appears Texas is kind of fighting its way back out of the depths that it was in last week. I heard the temperatures there are like in the 50s, and people are finally getting power and stuff turned back on, which is good.
Yeah, but my goodness, all those pipes that burst,
Yep.
people are going to be in.
Yeah. That's going to be a
Oh,
while. There's only so much. I've literally been watching a forum online, and one of the things like the guy can't find is PVC glue because it's all sold out.
yeah,
Little stuff like
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. I think
So,
plumbers are actually asking for out of state friends to send things, because even plumbers are having a hard time getting things that they need to fix people and business pipes. So that sucks. I said it yesterday to you and I'll say it again today. Texas, your politicians suck. Like,
yeah, well,
seriously.
some
But
of
the
them have
people are awesome.
they've fallen down on it. No joke. I did see Ted Cruz trying to.
Oh, Ted Cruz is in hot water.
Oh yeah, I saw the pictures I saw a little bit ago. Though he was out on a roadside somewhere with bottles of water, handing them out, big cases of water, handing out water. So a
Oh,
political
bless his heart.
consultant.
He is
I know,
trying about
and
a week too late.
I know, and see, even in my limited experience as a political kind of consultant, campaign consultant, kind of whatever, as limited as that experience was, even this is 101 stuff. You don't go to Cancun in the middle of a crisis.
Yeah, because you want to
So
be president. So what happens when the United States has a crisis? Do you go to Mexico then? If you're Ted Cruz, you do.
I suppose it would depend on the crisis. So
Um, well, cold, being
volcano
freezing.
erupts in Kansas. I don't
Did
know.
his wife come back? Because I'm thinking she should just stay because
No, and I heard that
she could
somebody
probably claim like some sort of a refugee status.
I heard on a different podcast that his wife was in a circle of a bunch of texts, and somebody in that circle leaked like the New York
Two
Times.
people.
Okay.
2 people.
Okay.
When
Two
your
people.
friends hate you and sell you out, you should just stay in Mexico.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I honestly, as old as I am now, I would trust my friends that I text enough to not do that. But I could see.
But if you're an asshat and you're leaving the state that your husband represents,
Mm,
your friends might sell
mm.
you out.
So yeah, he should
And
have been. Admittedly, there was only so much he could have done in the beginning, but as
okay,
soon as the roads were clear and everything, he should have been down there doing humanitarian stuff day
he's
one.
not a lineman. I get that. He can't go
Right,
out and fix lines. He can't fix
right.
pipes. I get that. But seriously, you're supposed to represent
He can help
Texans
direct traffic at an aid place or pass out water like he was doing, or get food
when
to
they needed it,
somewhere.
not days too late.
Right. Or at the very least, since he is a senator and he does have senatorial power, he
He
can pick
could
up the
be,
phone
yes,
and call
from
surrounding
the
state
state.
senators. Yeah.
Yes. And he
As
could
much as
be,
Louisiana owes Texas after Katrina, they should have been. I mean,
yeah.
we could, you know.
And so I think it's total BS when people are like, oh, he couldn't have done anything anyway. I wish I could have gone. Well, you're not
Mm,
representing the state.
mm.
So, and
So
and I seriously want to know if he was president and there was a disaster, would he leave?
as big a fan as I am of when he speaks and his oratory and all
I
of
really
that,
think you're the only one.
he definitely dropped the ball on this one.
I will say he is a man the rest of America loves to hate, including Republicans outside of Texas.
It's
I
cool.
think there's a pretty big consensus. There's a consensus that the rest of America, besides Texans, hates Ted Cruz, but they do love them a Ted Cruz meme. That man's
In
face was made for memes.
Within the party within Texas, he was a rock star until about a week ago, until all this crap hit.
And that's why I said
Right,
outside of Texas.
sure. Well, I mean, the same could be said though for senators and congressfolk of other states too. I mean,
I
find
don't think
somebody in
anybody
Texas that
has,
likes a Kennedy.
well, no, I'm talking about like nationally. Like you ask a Republican from any other state
Mm-hmm.
privately who they don't like, and they're going to say Ted.
Well, there's a
Like,
lot of Republicans that don't like Mitt Romney. There's a lot of Republicans that haven't liked the Bushes. There's a lot of
yeah.
Republicans that don't like any number of other people, but yet sometimes you
I
hold
don't
your
know
nose and
though,
vote
because they
for them.
don't like their policies and they don't like their politics, but you don't hear people saying that Mitt Romney is a douchebag.
Starting
And
to.
I've never heard anyone saying that George W. is an asshole. Like that's like they don't assassinate their character, but Ted Cruz, wait
I'm
staff
starting to
hate
hear
him.
more and more negative stuff. I say more and more. It's not pointed directly to him, but when referencing going like the war in Iraq, for instance, and how long a lot of the war on terror stuff has been going on, and the Patriot Act and things like that. Some of the George W. stuff, of course, ex-presidents, the longer they've been out of office, the more of a pass they get on stuff. It's like nobody who hates Carter, for instance. He's probably I guess
How
he's the
could you hate Carter? Even if
well
he
when
was
he
not the best president, how
if
could
you
you
were
hate Carter?
suffering through that economy in 1979, you probably didn't like 20% interest at the time. But
But that goes back to
now,
far before him. Like presidents aren't
now,
ultimately responsible for the interest when they come into office. Like that's
well, now he's the oldest living ex-president. He builds, well, I don't know if he still does because I think he's had some health
he
problems. But
does. He
point is,
literally does.
point is, he's a sweet old grandpa of a man that everybody loves. And W is kind of starting to fit into that a little bit. He's kind of older now and got some grandkids and all that stuff. But
And then there's
people,
Ted Cruz who packs his bags and runs.
hey,
Enough about Ted Cruz. We are beating that dead horse.
I
Um,
I defend his when he says something legally, I'll defend him. But this stuff here, I can't. I'm sorry, I got
and
nothing
blaming
for
his daughters. I'm pretty sure that those small children weren't like, let's go to
it.
Cancun and stay at the Ritz Carlton.
You and I both
I want
have
to eat lobster.
at least a daughter each, and sometimes
A 20 something year old might say, let's go to Cancun. A 9-year old, not going to say, I'd like to stay at the
no,
Ritz Carlton where it's warm,
true,
mommy. No.
true.
So, yeah, so that's going on. Texas is thawing out. People are getting hit with electric bills.
Mm.
I'm a fan of reading the fine print and contracts, no matter how unsexy and boring that is. And those contracts where they have fluctuating payments due to fluctuating costs. Oh, those are biting them in the ass. And I hate that because even those companies like Gritty is one, I think,
Mhm.
which is such a funny name for an electric billing company.
Sure.
Um, they've sent people bills upwards of $8,000. And
Mm,
in their contract, they say that it can fluctuate based on prices of natural gas.
the
But
market.
yeah, but they are literally telling their customers, drop us and go with someone else, which sounds all well and good, but you are still going to have that $6,000, $8,000, $14,000 bill for electricity you probably didn't even have for several days.
Right.
And they're going to hit your credit.
Credit's going to
They're
get. Yeah,
going
I was just
to,
thinking that.
yeah, they're going to hit your credit. They're going to go after you with collections. I'm not sure what they can do in Texas with liens and whatnot, but that is an ugly, ugly mess.
That would
Um,
depend.
yeah, and I don't know Texas law to that extent. I'm sure
Mhm.
you have some friends
I do
who might
some, but
know, but
it would literally depend on. I mean, yeah, they can go after you with collections and all that, but I smell who the
class action
lawyers are going to like
lawsuit.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not going to protect your credit. That's not going to fix your
Right.
credit. Um, and at the end of the day, I'm curious. I'd love to see one of those contracts because I'm sure it is hidden in the fine print. And there are a lot of contracts, particularly in like personal lines of insurance, that have had to be rewritten so that even a fifth grader can understand them. I would be willing to bet those electrical contracts are not written that way.
Hmm.
So,
So energy companies, and I'm talking to natural gas, oil, nuclear, wind, solar, all of it. If you produce energy whatsoever in any form whatsoever, winterize your stuff.
yeah.
Consumers of energy, and I'm talking to every living soul that listens, have a food and water stashed for a few days anyway. I'm just saying, for any random number of things that could happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all of a sudden, some
Well,
prepper dudes aren't looking so dumb. I'm
I
just
will
saying.
say,
Just
I
saying.
think people knew there was a storm coming, and people I've spoken to, they knew to get food and water. They didn't know the length of time. I
Right.
think when you live in South
Sure.
Houston, you're thinking a day or
Yep.
two.
Yep. Agreed.
And even things like when your electricity goes out for several days, older people, can they lift their garage doors easily?
Right.
And like there are things to think about that I would have never thought about before. So
Right.
I do love the Texas spirit. It's been amazing to see what people have done for each other, barring or setting aside politicians. Um, Texas people have been amazing. So
Take care of your neighbors.
yeah.
Be good to each other.
And like I told my mom yesterday, you guys have earned some amazing bluebonnets.
That's no joke. I didn't think about
I
that. Yeah.
know, I know. I was
That's
like, you
coming
guys
up
have,
too.
yeah, you have earned like the best bluebonnet season ever.
Right.
So hopefully they'll
Hopefully,
come
yeah. The
back.
wildflowers in the springtime will be good. I don't know. There's kind of a myth about it killing bugs. I mean, Alaska has some of the worst bugs ever. So yeah, you know, you're not getting off the hook with mosquitoes in the summer, but
Oh no, no, I wouldn't think that would even be something to hope for in Texas.
so for those listening along, as we are chatting, I am sitting in the state of Michigan, and Robyn, of course, is back home in Colorado. I saw that there was a plane with parts coming off of it that landed in come or from Denver the other day. Did you hear
Yeah,
about this?
I did. I haven't read a lot of details, but I do know from a couple of pilot friends that the
Mhm.
pilots were actually pretty amazing and that
Right,
they were able to keep it from being tragic.
right,
Um, I don't know a lot of details. I also saw pictures of parts in people's yards. That would be something to walk out to.
right. I actually
So,
had the AP article. I have it open right now, and it was supposed to be going from Denver to Honolulu,
right.
and then I
Yeah, it
guess
happened pretty quickly. Like they had just taken off.
chunks chunks started falling off and landing in Bloomfield, Colorado. So
Broomfield.
Broomfield, excuse me, I don't have my
Yeah,
glasses on. My
that's
bad.
all right.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
people heard
so
crashes and walked out, and there were parts, and some of the parts, like I'm sure you had no idea what you were looking at. Like there was
no,
a big round cylindrical
yeah, I'm looking at
piece.
it right now. It's big. It's
Yeah,
as big as this guy's truck. There's
I
if
feel like I'd want to keep at least a part of
I
it.
get a
Like,
yes,
yeah.
yes, you got to make like a barbecue pit out of it or something, like
Well, I know they have to like take it and try to find out what happened, what went wrong. But come on, give me back a part. Like
No,
if it
no, this is
lands,
mine.
possession is 9/10.
That's right. Nothing to see here. Depends on how cool of a part it was. So,
But yeah, I kudos to them for being able to land and be safe and
well, I
nothing
tell
bad
people,
happened.
and I had an experience the other day. The last time I flew, we kind of pitched to the right. The captain said before we ever even backed out of the deal, it's going to be a bumpy ride getting from here to there. It was snowing where I was. It was snowing where I was going. So we pitched kind of hard to the right for a second, and it was kind of you get that feeling in your stomach like when you're on a roller coaster. It was like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Oh, I
but
hate turbulence.
you realize those things they're designed to fly.
Okay,
So
so one thing I love, and I know some people hate it, but anytime I've been in Central or South America,
mhm,
when the plane lands, everybody cheers. It's like a huge thank you for the pilots.
I like
And
that.
the first time it happened, I was like, what in the world? But I've been to a handful of places, and every time the plane lands, people from that country cheer, whether it's Brazil or Argentina or Nicaragua, they cheer. And
Interesting.
I think it's the coolest thing. It's like this huge thank you to the pilots and the flight attendants. And
In
yeah,
America,
I
you're used to hearing all the seatbelts unclicking. I mean, that's the first thing you hear when,
yes, it's not the
but
same in America,
not the
but
same thing,
yeah, but I when I saw that this plane safely landed, I thought if ever Americans needed to cheer when their plane landed, this would have been the flight
right?
because they landed. But yeah, so no big tragedies there, just some landscaping needed. And what else? Oh, we've got the stimulus stuff coming up. We've got
Yeah,
student
it's
loan forgiveness.
funny you mentioned that. I just got my taxes done. Had to go to H&R Block. They're not a sponsor. I wish they were, but had to go to H&R Block get my taxes done, and they asked about the stimulus thing. So apparently, yes, did you get the original stimulus they sent out, and then the most recent $600 one? And I did, and so it was. I
You
don't
got
know. It
yours pretty quickly, right?
didn't seem to. Yeah, very surprised at that. It didn't seem to affect my taxes at all. So I think some people were
No.
concerned about that, but
Yeah. I think a lot of people were concerned or thought they were
yeah,
being penalized for it. And it's
right.
how whatever software they used
Hmm.
asks about it. It looked
Right.
like it lessened their taxes when it really didn't.
Right. Well,
So,
I go to a national chain for my taxes because I have worked in 3 or 4 states in the last 3 or 4 years. So I need somebody that can they can just pull up my last year's stuff, tell them where I've been. Here's my stuff, me and the dude. And this guy he was a little older guy and had a bow tie on and the glass. He looked like what you would think an accountant is supposed to look like. He
aw,
was
with
that
a
guy.
bow tie.
Yes, yes. So he was a
Was
sweet
it a
dude.
clip bow tie or was it like a he tied it bow
You know
tie?
what? I didn't pay that close of attention, but a man his age, I bet would know how to tie a bow tie.
You
I'd
are
be willing.
probably right.
I'd be willing to bet he was a what's the word they use a dandy. But I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean it like he was a little old guy that you could tell he had.
Seersucker suit. If he had to wear a suit.
I don't know if they wear seersuckers up here. I could sweater vest
Oh yeah,
definitely and
it
a bow
is
tie.
Michigan. Never
You're
mind.
right.
Scratch
Don't know if
that.
he'd be more of the wool suit kind of
My
guy.
brain was in Texas.
No, it's all right. It's all right. He'd be more of the wool suit kind of guy, but really, really nice guy and was asking me all kinds of questions and off topic and just BSing with me, but really sweet. Did my taxes and there was no penalty for the stimulus stuff, so people don't be worried about that. So do your taxes, do them early.
Yep, and you'll probably get another stimulus. I think they're trying to hammer out the details on who gets that and how, but
Right.
we'll see. We should have stuff to talk about after next week because I think they're
Yeah.
trying to get all that done in the next week.
I believe there's some hang up on some of the student loan stuff going back and
Yeah,
forth.
Biden's okay with 10,000.
Mhm.
Some are pushing for 50,000, but his point is if you do 10,000, then you still have funds left over to um, put into early childhood education and to put into making community colleges affordable or free.
Right.
So,
Biden, love him or hate him, I mean, he was an animal of the Senate for a long time. So he's used to how that thing ebbs and flows. He knows he basically, and I know some people were wanting more and all that, but he's probably, at least in his mind, realistic enough to go, okay, this is, you ask for the whole world and this is what you get, sort of.
Well, yeah, some people are wanting a lot more and some people are wanting nothing. Like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, buddy. And he's
Right.
trying to do compromise, which is such a unheard of thing the last few years. So
Well,
it'll be
it is
interesting if he gets
asking
that through.
taxpayers that didn't go to college to pay for the college of those that did. So there's a,
That's very short-sighted.
it was not if you're Joe the plumber.
It's very short-sighted. There's lots of stuff that we ask people to pay for.
That's true.
I pay for roads that I'm never going to drive on.
I pay for roads that beat the hell out of
Yeah. We're paying into Social Security that you and I will probably never see.
Yep. If
So
you're
to
our
me,
age,
that's a poor argument.
exactly right. If you're our age and you even know anything about Social Security whatsoever. Speaking of which, and I can't go too deep into this, but I've been having to deal with that particular agency to help someone else that you're aware of. That thing is a nightmare. The Social Security Administration, and it's nuts. So, oh, a dog.
A dog. He's going
Speaking
to
of
his
dogs.
forever home today.
Oh, tell us about that.
Oh, I've started fostering dogs. And we call him Hank, but I don't know what his name's going to be. He doesn't answer to the name he was given from the shelter, but
Right.
I've had him for what, 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks.
Seems like it.
A neighbor fell in love with him and she is adopting him. I'm taking him with Nate. We're taking him over this afternoon. So it's weird because I'm super excited. She's retired. She's home all the time. He wants to be with people 24/7 unless he's sleeping in his kennel. So it'll be perfect for him. But I also feel like I am giving away my own child. Like, I feel like I need to say, like, all right, I'll come check on him tonight. Why don't you just let me know how he sleeps? And do you know how he likes his food? Like, I'm so nervous. And I'm like, okay, she's had dogs before. She's had great dogs and been great. It'll be fine. But it's funny how nervous I am. And part of me wants to keep him. And then I thought at some point I'm just an animal hoarder if I do that. And so, no, I have to let them go to good homes and spread the love. So, not keeping him. But yeah, he went over yesterday and had a long visit and he was perfectly happy. So
good. Yeah.
And chewed a shoe.
Right. Go ahead. Sorry.
Chewed your shoe. Chewed Nate's shoe. Chewed my shoe.
Yeah, he likes shoes. So when I was back in Colorado, what was it, last weekend? He found one of my boots, my sorrel.
You can still wear it. It's just the little back tab that you pull it on with.
Yeah.
And you are not the guy who tucks your pants into your boots.
No.
So no one will even know.
I am
and
not.
I tried to find size 13 sorrels and there's not a pair to be found unless you want shiny black.
Mm-mm.
Or a cream color. So,
no, I bought those in 2017 when I came to Indiana, Michigan the last time.
Yeah.
And we were not in the middle of a pandemic, and
I found those exact ones in a size 9. But I thought that might be a tight squeeze for you.
I have to curl up the old toes to get into it. Size 9.
That was seriously the only size they had those in.
Ouch! So, that would pinch a little.
Yeah. And he ate one of Nate's shoes just a little bit. And then, he destroyed the insoles on my Toms. So
hope it wasn't a running shoe.
Does that boy wear anything else?
I don't know. I mean, a major, like a current pair, because every runner's got the one current go-to pair. And then there's the varying levels of the distant pass.
I think it was the next to the most recent.
Okay.
So he's probably good.
Which I'm actually going to try to run today since it's above freezing a little bit. I'm going to give it the old go. So I saw people running yesterday, so I was like, "Oh, you bastards! I got to go run."
That almost counts as running if you saw them.
Yeah, the side streets here, they just don't get cleared off. Like the road in and out of where I'm staying just still has snow sitting on it. It's just hard to find.
Snow is fine. It's the ice.
Well, yeah, but it sits there and gets packed down so much that it's several inches thick of just hard packed,
Trust me, I haven't been out in 8 days now because it's just icy, icy. And it melted a lot yesterday and then it snowed again last night. So
refroze.
Yeah.
So your boy Leslie Jordan, you sent me that video of him commenting
God, love him.
on the, oh God, I love him too, on the Kim Kanye divorce and his take on it. And he's like, "Oh, honey, if Kanye can't keep you entertained, then
Did she accuse him of what, banality?
banality." Which I did not know that that's what that meant. It means he's boring. And I'm going,
Oh yeah, I knew
you might
that.
not like Kanye, but boring's probably not a word I would use.
Well, but we see the persona, we see the like public fake persona that he puts out there.
Yeah,
And maybe when they get home, he's like a one-word monosyllabic
maybe
boring
that's
guy.
possible. But
Yeah.
Leslie Jordan
Maybe
kind
she
of went
asks
into
him
her a
how his
little bit.
day, like what he's up to, and he's like, nothing.
Nothing. Well, when
Yeah.
he's home in private, he probably just wants to chill and be left alone. I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Conversation is nice sometimes.
I
I don't know.
suppose. But Leslie is like, honey, if I think this is like
If
the fourth
Kanye
husband.
can't,
This is the
it's
fourth
only her
husband for
third.
her.
It's only her third.
Oh, is it? Okay, my bad.
Yeah, he corrected himself. If you looked, he corrected.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. But it was still pretty funny, the whole Kim and Kanye debacle. So
yeah, did not know about that till you told me, and yeah, all power to him.
And then Leslie makes comments on it. So yeah, it was kind of interesting. So what else you got?
Oh, well, there's a world of stuff out there, but it's been so long since we've actually done a podcast that I'm like, how does this work?
I would like to apologize to the folks that do listen and they have been asking and all that. We literally just I've been traveling so damn much in the last couple months. Plus,
we have not broken up.
We have not broken up. Let's be official about that. And then there's the whole, you and I barely
different
being
states,
able to,
different time zones.
Well, that too, and figuring out how to record ourselves in a decent kind of way, because we tried this yesterday with a different recording style and it didn't work at all. It screwed everything up. We think we've got it this time. So
we'll see. We'll do it again on the regular.
Yeah.
So
several times a week.
I have a new addiction, and
oh Lord,
I know I'm way behind on this, but it's because I've steadfastly refused. I downloaded TikTok on my phone.
No.
Oh my God.
What?
When you can't sleep at night,
right?
An hour of TikTok videos. I don't know if they make me fear for humanity or if they give me hope. I go back and forth, but solid entertainment.
Ocean Spray guy gives me hope, or whatever it's called, the cranberry.
Yeah, there'll be like one of those, and then there'll be one where I'm like, oh my God, how did you happen?
But some person twerking in cutoff shorts, no.
I don't watch those.
Okay.
What do you take me for?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what goes on there.
Wow, they may just sustain me. Not gonna do a TikTok, but I will enjoy them. So, and if Nate can hear me say that I downloaded TikTok, I am being judged right now.
You don't want to let the teenagers know that you know about the apps that the kids are listening to. Because when mine were coming up, I literally would get asked every now and then how I knew a certain word or a phrase or whatever. It was like, how do you know?
Don't you know you got to misuse it? You got to misuse it.
Oh, yeah.
Like or say put an bruh S at the wrong time.
Or put an S at the end of a word that's not supposed to have an S at the end of it.
The internets.
The internets or Reddits.
Or if I can't figure out how something works, I'm just going to call the internets.
Okay. Yeah. I need you to look, or call it the interstate. I've done that. I need you to look this up on the interstate. Or call it the Google. They love it when you call it the Google.
Googles.
The Googles. Need you to ask the Googles. Oh, good. Or show them a meme that's like older than hell and be like, oh, have you seen this one? Have you seen? Yeah. So like, if you show them a Bernie meme now,
Ooh, right. Bernie with his mittens. Have you seen this?
Yes. Yeah. I will say people in Texas did the Bernie snowman meme when that was going on.
Oh yeah. Well, did you see the one where Ted was walking through the Capitol with a margarita instead of the podium?
That was
and
hilarious.
If you look in the picture behind, I think Buddy Wright sent it to me.
Yeah, Buddy
Wright.
Look
in the picture behind. Bernie is sitting in that picture with the founding fathers or whatever that's a picture of.
I gotta go
relook
at that.
Layers to that meme.
I've got to go relook at that. Well, Buddy's talented, so
I don't think he did it. I think he found it, but yeah.
There's a reason he was my childhood best friend. He knew how to figure stuff out. So
you just sat beside him so you could copy his answers, huh?
My old teachers may be listening.
I'm kidding.
And he would have never purposefully let me do that.
I need to go to PetSmart to buy this dog some goodbye toys because I'm a sucker for a cute dog.
Okay.
So, anything else?
I'm gonna after we get done here, we'll figure out how to go for a run. I may only do a couple miles because it's been a while since I put in any.
Honey, we're still on the podcast.
Do what?
We're still on the podcast.
I know.
I meant anything else like podcast.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm gonna go run. I mean, I understand.
Okay.
I don't have anything else. I'm sorry.
Run, Forrest.
Yeah, thank you. Ooh, you got one coming for that. You got one coming for that. Well, as usual, Robyn is correct.
And Ryan is right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.